India's exports continue on the growth track for the fourth straight month. It comes up at 13.5% for October 2013. Trade deficit also halves to $10.5 billion in October 2013 versus October 2012. After Diwali bull run, the hangover, the market slipped for the fifth day in a row. Sensex closes at 20,491 levels, down 175 points. NSE Nifty closes below that crucial 6,100 level mark. Rupee hits a 7-week low against the US dollar, closes at 63.24, down 77 paise. Finance Minister P. Chidambaram assured that rupee will stabilize. Destination India PepsiCo CEO Indra Nooyi says the company will invest 33,000 crore rupees in India by 2020, affirms faith in India growth story. And Parliament's winter session to be held from December 5th to December 20th. Cabinet Committee on Political Affairs recommends date after considering polling schedule in 5 states. Hello and welcome to Business Wrap on this cold Monday evening. I am Sidhant Sibal. On to the top stories. Positive news from the Commerce Ministry. Exports have grown yet again. That is at 13.5%. Imports have deaccelerated by 14.5%. Overall impact of this is that the trade deficit has collapsed by almost 50% for October 2013 as compared to October 2012. Gold and silver imports have contracted by 80% for October 2013. Cumulatively, that is from April to October 2013, gold and silver imports have contracted by 13%. But petroleum imports have increased marginally by 1.7%. Government hopes that the $325 billion export target will be achieved for financial year 13-14. Export lobby group FIO has said that India will be able to achieve export target of $350 billion for financial year 13-14. Let's hear from the Commerce Secretary himself.
Exports have shown a significant increase by close to 13.5% for the month of October 13. And in imports, there has been a significant fall of 14.5% for the month of October 13 as related to October 12. Trade deficit for the month of October 13 is is about half of the trade deficit what we have witnessed in October 12. So moving forward, we are very hopeful of reaching the annual target of $325 billion US in exports.
So the optimistic Commerce Secretary there. Meanwhile, EEPC India has said that exports have shown a convincing rebound and the tempo can be sustained and improved by further making Indian products competitive in the global markets where green shoots are visible. EEPC India has also said that rupee depreciation has helped exporters. We're joined by FIO DG Ajay Sahai on the export numbers. Sir, first thing, do you think that this export trajectory, the positive trajectory, will continue? Mr. Sahai, can you hear me?
We're hopeful that exports will pick up from here. In last 4 months, we have seen positive growth in export. Last 3 months, we have seen double-digit growth in exports. And now we feel that in next 5 months, we can see close to 20% growth in exports. So that not only we touch the target of $325 billion, but we may land up with an export of around $340 billion.
You're very optimistic at $340 billion. What's the reason behind that optimism, sir?
No, I'm basing this augment on the order book position of the Indian exporters. They are getting good order not only from the emerging economies but also from the advanced economies. US in particular has shown around 30% growth in exports, and now situation is fastly improving in Europe also. So based on the order book position, we are pretty confident that we will be posting a very good result in next 5 months.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Sahai. Hopefully the positive trajectory for the Indian exports will continue. On to our next story. PepsiCo India PepsiCo will be investing 300,000 crore rupees in India by 2020. Following a meeting with Finance Minister P. Chidambaram, PepsiCo CEO Indra Nooyi said that India has great investment opportunities and the company affirms its belief in the India growth story.
$1,000 crores between now and 2020, $5.5 billion between PepsiCo, the parent company, and its bottling partners here in India. The reason we're making the investment in India is because we believe India is a terrific growth story, a long-term terrific growth story. And PepsiCo has a great business in India, and we believe this story is still unfolding. And we want to grow in India, with India, for India, and this investment shows our confidence in India and its long-term growth prospects.
So grow with India. On that note, time for a short break. More after a small break.
सुनो, गाड़ी की चाबी तो ले लो।
आज नो चाबी। आज से मेरा कारपूल स्टार्ट हो रहा है। सॉरी यार, लेट हो गया।
सुनो।
हाँ।
थैंक यू।
थैंक यू क्यों?
मेरी डायमंड रिंग के लिए।
डायमंड रिंग?
अब तुम कारपूल कर रहे हो, इसका मतलब हर साल हम फ्यूल बिल पे 50,000 तक तो बचा ही लेंगे। अब इतने में तो डायमंड रिंग आ ही जाएगी। आखिर बात तो एक ही है ना?
कारपूल करें और सालाना 50,000 रुपए तक बचाएं। Brought to you by PCRA and Public Interest.
एक नाम तो हर किसी का होता है, पर कुछ लोग अपने नाम को शोहरत की बुलंदियों तक ले जाते हैं। कई रातें काली करनी पड़ती हैं, इतवार कुर्बान करने पड़ते हैं, होली दिवाली सब भुलाने पड़ते हैं। कहना बड़ा आसान है कि मेहनत और लगन से बनता है नाम, पर सच ये है कि हद कर गुजरने से बनता है नाम। और सच ये भी है कि कितना भी बड़ा हो नाम, एक पल में हो सकता है बदनाम। अपने नाम की गरिमा बनाए रखिए, सर्विस टैक्स ना भरने की भूल मत कीजिए। सर्विस टैक्स VCS के चलते भरिए अपना सर्विस टैक्स।
Welcome back. The rupee today hit a 7-week low against the US dollar. Rupee today ended at nearly 2-month low of 63.24 versus the US dollar, down 77 paise or 1.23%. The rupee had recovered over 8% since August 28th, when it fell to a record low of 68.85 to the US dollar. Meanwhile, with the rupee declining to a 2-month low of 63 to a dollar, Finance Minister P. Chidambaram today assured that the domestic currency will stabilize.
With the rupee declining to a 2-month low of 63 to a dollar, Finance Minister P. Chidambaram has assured the investors that domestic currency will stabilize soon. In early trade today, the rupee fell to 63.33 to a dollar, its weakest since September 18th. The Indian currency started weakening since last week after the dollar purchase by oil companies was partly shifted to the market. Economic Affairs Secretary Arvind Mayaram has said that rupee weakness is due to OMC forex demand being moved to market. 30 to 40% of OMC demand has moved to market. The rupee has recovered over 8% since August 28 when it fell to a record low of 68.85 to the dollar. The gain in rupee had followed optimism that the US Federal Reserve would delay the tapering of its bond buying program. Business Desk, DD News.
Meanwhile, on to equity markets. It seems that Diwali bull run is finally over. Markets declined on the first trading session of the week as market sentiment were impacted adversely on concerns that the Federal Reserve may reduce monetary stimulus for the US economy sooner than expected after latest data showed better than expected US October jobs report. The US Central Bank currently buys bond worth $85 billion a month. Fed's bond buying program has been a source of liquidity for most Asian and emerging markets this year. The BSE Sensex and CNX Nifty both hit their fresh lowest level of 3.5-week low in late trade. This is also the 5th day of consecutive fall for the markets. Sensex closed at 20,491 levels, down 175 points, while NSE Nifty closed 62 points down at 6,079 levels, so that Nifty ending below that crucial 6,100 levels. Major losers on the Sensex were Hindalco, L&T, ONGC, SBI and Tata Motors, which were down by between 4 to 2%. Major gainers on the Sensex were Dr. Reddy's Lab, Tata Steel, Maruti Suzuki, TCS and Infosys, which were up by between 2 to 1%. Most Asian stocks edged higher on Monday. Key benchmark indices in China, Singapore, Japan and Hong Kong rose by between 0.16% to 1.3%. Key benchmark indices in Taiwan, South Korea and Indonesia shed by between 0.38% to 0.78%. On to the European stocks. European stocks edged higher on Monday, extending a fifth straight week of gains as China's industrial output grew unexpectedly. Key benchmark indices in France, Germany and UK rose by between 0.05% to 0.12%. Time for another short break. More after this small break.
May I help you?
क्या मिला वो? हमें भी खरीद लो। यार बहुत बढ़िया माल आया हुआ दुकान पर।
By taxi also. The 13, 15.
Hello, madam. Madam, personal guide, personal boy.
Madam, I friendship you. Take us to good hotel.
Very cheap hotel, madam.
क्या भाई क्यों बदतमीजी कर रहा है?
तेरी क्या बहन लगती है?
नहीं मेहमान लगती है और तुम्हारी भी। और आप सब कैसे इंसान हैं? ये बदमाश देश का नाम, देश की इज्जत मिट्टी में मिला रहा है और आप सब खड़े खड़े देख रहे हैं। और ये सिर्फ देश के मेहमान नहीं, आपकी आमदनी भी इन्हीं के जेब से आती है। नाखुश होके जाएंगे तो फिर लौट के नहीं आएंगे। फिर क्या खाएंगे और क्या कमाएंगे आप?
भाषण बंद कर अपना।
अरे बंद तो तुझे आज हम कराएंगे।
इस देश में आने वाला हर इंसान हमारा मेहमान है। करो मेहमानों की हिफाजत तो मिलेगी देश को इज्जत, आपको बरकत। आगे बढ़ो, विरोध करो।
सुनो घंटी बजी स्कूल की, चलो स्कूल तुमको पुकारे। पल 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 रोशनी जो मिली स्कूल की, जगमगाओगे तुम बन के तारे। कॉपी और किताबें सारी स्कूल देगा, स्कूल देगा। यूनिफॉर्म भी तुम्हारी स्कूल देगा, स्कूल देगा। स्कूल अब घर से दूर नहीं है, कम हो गए फासले। पहुंचोगे स्कूल के गेट पर तुम, थोड़ा सा भी जो चले। प्यार और नरमी से तुमको पढ़ाएंगे, टीचर है ऐसे भले। सच 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 रीत अब है यही स्कूल की, कभी टीचर ना बच्चों को मारे। सुनो घंटी बजी स्कूल की, चलो स्कूल तुमको पुकारे। लाइब्रेरी में जो पढ़ना हो, स्कूल देगा, स्कूल देगा। दोपहर में खाना भी लो, और स्कूल देगा, स्कूल देगा। पढ़ना भी है और है खेलना भी है, दोनों बातें यहाँ। ध्यान उनका भी पूरा रखा गया है, ये जान ले लड़कियाँ। वो जो पढ़ेंगी, जो आगे बढ़ेंगी तो बदलेगा शिक्षा जब पहुंचेगी स्कूल की शक्ति पाएंगे निर्बल भी सारे टन 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 सुनो घंटी बजे स्कूल की चलो स्कूल तुमको पुकारे चलो स्कूल तुमको पुकारे चलो स्कूल तुमको पुकारे चलो स्कूल तुमको पुकारे
शिक्षा मेरा अधिकार है।
ए मक्खी मेरी पतंग है। तेरी कहाँ सो गई? दे दे नहीं तो क्या नहीं तो मैं अपने बड़े भाई को बुला के लाऊंगा, वो दे छोड़ेगा नहीं। हाँ बुला ले, मैं भी किसी से डरता नहीं हूँ, मैं खुद अपना बड़ा भाई हूँ।
किसी और पे निर्भर क्यों हो, खुद ही स्ट्रॉन्ग बन जाओ। हर हफ्ते लो आयरन की सिर्फ एक नीली गोली। ये खून में आयरन की मात्रा बढ़ाए, अंदर से बाहर तक एकदम सॉलिड बनाए। सरकारी स्कूलों और आंगनबाड़ी केंद्रों में निःशुल्क उपलब्ध। सॉलिड बनो इंडिया, भारत सरकार की पहल।
Welcome back. The winter session of the Parliament is starting from 5th of December. The Cabinet Committee on Political Affairs today decided to recommend that the winter session of the Parliament will continue till 20th of December. The winter session is generally a month-long affair, but this time it had been curtailed in view of the assembly elections in Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, Delhi and Mizoram. Polling in these states will end on December 4th and the counting of votes is scheduled to take place on December 8th. The Supreme Court today allowed the Goa government to e-auction the 11.48 million tons of ore that it has already excavated. The court asked for formation of a panel to monitor the auction. The apex court also asked for another panel to suggest the quantum cap on Goa mining. The members will be announced by November 15th and are supposed to submit a report by February 15, 2014. The proceeds from the e-auction must be retained in a separate fixed deposit. Now on to Q2 results. State-run Steel Authority of India's second quarter net profit more than doubled to 1,180 crore rupees from 543 crore rupees in a year-ago period. Net sales increased 7% to 11,410 crore rupees in 3-month period ended on September 2013 from 10,663 crore rupees in a year-ago period. Let's hear what Chairman of SAIL C.S. Verma had to say after the announcement of the results.
The growth in the crude steel production for the year 2012 was 5.6%, and for the current year from January to September the growth is 3%. However, the things have picked up in China. The growth which are 2.1% during last year, it has in the range of 8% during the current year from January to September 2013.
Union Finance Minister P. Chidambaram today released the commemorative coin to mark the culmination of 125th anniversary of Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad. Speaking on the occasion, the Finance Minister hailed the efforts of the country's first education minister during the freedom struggle. He added that Maulana Azad always advocated the need for unity, independence, love and brotherhood among all the communities.
He was an Indian and a Muslim. He was a nationalist, patriot, and totally secular. More than anyone else, he was able to foresee the consequences of the two-nation theory. He was a passionate advocate until the very last of the unity of India. He was able to reflect the true feelings of millions of people, both within and outside the Congress party. He had always fought for the unity and independence of India and for love and brotherhood among all communities, particularly between Hindus and Muslims.
The Road Ministry is looking to put in place a road regulator before the next union budget. The ministry will also review the target of awarding 8,000 kilometers this year after it found very few takers for road projects in the country. Inaugurating an international seminar on experience gained in PPP projects in road sector, Minister for Road, Transport and Highways Oscar Fernandez said that India is soon going to have extensive national highway network. He added that land acquisition activities have increased in the past few years while private participation in the sector has slowed down.
It is no more a secret that the highway sector in the country is witnessing a significant increase in activities in recent years. The government has made substantial efforts to tackle the road and shortcomings of highway sector and to reform its transport institutions.
On the sidelines of the event, Economic Affairs Secretary Arvind Mayaram once again reiterated that India has emerged as the largest PPP market in the world and there is need to have transparent framework. He also said that public-private partnership in the road sector will be revived in next 6 to 8 months.
That the private sector has a very important role to play in the development of this country. We must have transparent frameworks. As far as corruption is concerned, it can exist in any form, in anywhere.
India's road sector has been facing constraints over past few years, largely due to lack of private participation in the sector and due to lenders staying away from projects. On to some global news. The US economy added a better than expected 200,000 jobs in October. There has been fears that the 16-day shutdown of the government services last month could have hit the job growth. Last week, it was also announced that the US economy grew at a better than expected annual pace of 2.8% in the third quarter. The positive news has raised expectations that the Federal Reserve could start cutting back economic support, that is to say, go for tapering. Tapering could rattle the markets, especially the emerging markets like India. Taper talk is getting louder once again, now that data shows far more jobs are being created than expected, despite concerns about the impact of October's partial government shutdown. Non-farm payrolls up more than 200,000 in October and revised up in both August and September. And while the unemployment rate is higher, the average work week held steady and the hourly earnings rose. While this is good news, now the worry is just when the Fed tapers.
There is a risk, of course, from the Fed's point of view, if they start delaying the tapering, they may be behind some of the, let's say, inflation pressures, because we saw the inflation numbers yesterday and the GDP number picking up a little bit. So the Fed could fall behind as far as its inflation targets go. That is a risk for the marketplace that you might have better growth, but slightly higher inflation overall.
The Obama administration contends that the shutdown did hurt the economy and says continued political uncertainty with upcoming deadlines will discourage private employment.
We've got to eliminate this governance by manufactured crisis that we see from some in Congress and make sure that we provide that certainty that employers will have, because it's remarkable how resilient the economy is, notwithstanding the roadblocks that some put in the way.
And it's just that uncertainty that could keep the Fed from taking action until next year. Although most economists still believe that Fed won't cut back its economic support until next year, some economists are now saying December is at least a possibility. And this could spook markets in emerging economies like India. Business Desk, DD News. Well, back home, as fans are frantically looking to book a seat to watch Sachin Tendulkar play the 200th and the final test of his career at Mumbai's Wankhede Stadium, a website selling 5,000 tickets crashed on Monday as tickets went on sale at 11 a.m. This despite the fact that only 2 tickets per person can be booked online. Meanwhile, all good things come to an end eventually, even Sachin Tendulkar's cricket. But brand Sachin may yet survive for a while, unlike the case of other luminaries whose brand value tends to vanish overnight after their active sporting days are over.
Couples devil made India fall head over heels in love with cricket by winning the 1983 World Cup. By the 90s, as the country opened its door to the world, the game had captured the imagination of 1 billion people. It is in this backdrop that Sachin Tendulkar arrived, turning a pristine sport into a multi-billion-dollar industry. His meteoric rise was the perfect platform for dozens of brands, with his humility and simplicity connecting him to the masses like never before. Cricket may have changed over those 2.5 decades, for better or for worse, but the little master, even as he evolved, has remained constant. There have been huge brands among the sportsmen, but his impeccable image over such a long time has helped him sustain him as the brand. Tiger Woods, Lance Armstrong and so many others suffered setbacks after falling from grace, but not Sachin. Sachin may have become the richest cricketer in the world and helped make BCCI a cash cow, but the credit to a large extent goes to him only. If the Dhonis and the Kohlis are striking multi-billion-dollar deals today, they can thank Sachin for this. Both Sachin and Dhoni made it to the Forbes list of top 100 richest athletes in the world in 2011. According to a recent survey conducted by a magazine, Sachin's net worth is $160 million, which makes him the richest Indian sportsman. Marketing experts are convinced brand Sachin will actually get bigger after his retirement. With his squeaky clean image and the trust he has earned, a whole new range of products and market has opened up for him. Also, he will now have more time for his sponsors. Sports Desk, DD News.
So brand Sachin is here to stay. Now time for repeat headlines. India's exports continue on growth track for the 4th straight month, come out at 13.5% for October 2013. Trade deficit also halves to $10.5 billion in October 2013 versus October 2012. After Diwali bull run, the hangover, markets slipped for the 5th day in a row. Sensex closes at 20,491 levels, down 175 points. NSE Nifty closes below that crucial 6,100 level mark. Rupee hits a 7-week low against the US dollar, closes at 63.24, down 77 paise. Finance Minister P. Chidambaram assures that rupee will stabilize. Destination India, PepsiCo CEO Indra Nooyi says the company will invest 300,000 crore rupees in India by 2020, affirms faith in India growth story. And Parliament's winter session to be held from December 5th to December 20th. Cabinet Committee on Political Affairs recommends date after considering polling schedule in 5 states. Well, that's all in this edition of Business Wrap. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.